Hi, I'm Patrick Gaindo, and today I want to talk to you about training your eyes to see shapes. The reason that we want to train our eyes to see shapes is because so often we try to get something out from our imagination, and when it travels down through our arm and out of our hand and into our sketchbook, it just doesn't match, and that can be so frustrating. I know so many adults who say, "Oh, I can't even draw a stick person." And I think that that is probably one of the most limiting ways that we can think about ourselves. We sometimes say it so that other people feel better about their artistic skills, but when we say to somebody, "You're so talented and I could never do that because I can't even draw a stick person," all we're saying is, you probably were born with that ability, and so it's really wonderful that you could do that, but you probably didn't have to work for it. Now, the reality is that any artist works their butt off to make sure that what they're putting on the page or on the canvas, what they're creating, is wonderful and is matching as closely as possible the thing that's in here. So it's not that anybody was born with a specific ability. Some people are more naturally able to do things, and maybe we can call that talent, but I don't like that word because it suggests that we don't have to work for this stuff. Now, practice makes progress. So for us to get the thing that is happening in here in our imaginations to travel out through our hands and onto the paper, to bridge that gap and make it closer so that we get happier and happier with what we make, we need to practice. Training our eyes to see shapes, shadows, and highlights is one way that we can help ourselves bridge that gap. So what do I mean? I don't mean we need to create things that look exactly like the thing we're looking at. But take my glass of water here. I've got some lemons, I've got some ice, and you can look at this and automatically know it's a glass of water. Now, if I'm going to draw this, I might draw a basic cup shape and put maybe just some slightly wavy lines to show the water and some squares or rectangles for the ice. And half of a circle for the lemons, and that'll be great. And we can look at it and say, yeah, that's it. But I'm probably going to be frustrated that it doesn't look the way I want it to look. And the reason for that is I didn't look closely enough and I didn't spend enough time looking at this glass with water and ice and lemons. I didn't look at it for long enough and figure out why it looks the way it looks. So why does it look the way it looks? Well, let me tell you, the first thing that's going to get in our way is if we look at this and say, it's a glass of lemon with ice water. If that's what we're thinking, we're automatically skipping over how we can make it. So let's not skip over that. Let's break it down. This is not a glass with ice and lemon and water. It's not. It's a collection of shapes, of highlights, and of shadows. So I'm gonna play away at drawing this. I'm looking and I'm trying to find the shapes, the slight curves, the way the light hits the glass, the way the shadows happen on the lemons, so that I can start to recreate and make this glass of iced lemon water that looks sort of the way I want it to. Now, it's not going to be perfect the first time, and that's perfectly fine. It doesn't have to be perfect, ever. We're creating art. We aren't making this art so that we can have a perfect reproduction on paper. If we wanted that, we could snap a picture and print it off. That's not why we make art. We make art for so many reasons. I make art because it feels good. I like the way it feels on my hand when I can feel the rub through the pencil or through the brush when I'm painting. That vibration feels good in my hand, and it calms my body and my soul. I create art because I'm curious. I like to learn more and improve, and every time I paint or draw, I get to do that. And I can step back and say, oh, this was not so good. How could I improve that? Or, oh, that kind of worked out. What did I do that time? Now let me tell you, every time I have a moment like that, it's because I looked at a piece of reference. The reference is the thing we look at when we're trying to figure out what makes the thing that we want to make look the way it looks. And the reason that artists who do well practice so much is because they love the process of making. Not because they love the outcome of making, the thing that they've created. Yes, sure, we do. but that's not the only reason we do it. So what does this mean for you? If you're a person who says, I can barely draw a straight person, you're so talented, you're so lucky, I want you to realize and know that that's not true. Nobody just shows up one day and can create something that is perfect and amazing and wonderful and reproduce that over and over and over and over again. The people who will look at their artwork and say, you're so talented, it's so amazing, I can't believe you did that. It's because they practice all the time. It's because they look at things and they see what it's made of, not what it's supposed to be. So the next time that you're sitting down to create something to sketch or to paint or whatever it is that you're making, I don't care what it is, it doesn't matter. What I want you to do is stop, look at it, see what shapes it's made up of, and start there. And it may not look the way you want it to look, but draw it again 5 times. And by the end of the 5th time, it's going to start to look the way you want it to look. I promise. So happy drawing, have fun, take care, and I'll see you next time.